What's going on, guys? This is Matt from the Hair Transplant channel here. Thank you for stopping by, and today we are gonna talk about how you can get rid of scars, whether if it was FUE or FUT procedure. Can scarring be totally and fully avoided by hair transplant? And the answer is not really, unless you go for a biofiber synthetic hair transplant, okay? That means that you are basically bald, or you are having a bald spot, and you will not need any donor hair to be transplanted there, because they will create a similar hair of your hair structure or your hair texture or your hair color, and this synthetically created hair will be then transplanted in full length already onto your bald spot. You cannot like cut that hair, you know, because it will not grow back. This is just the synthetic hair. This is an option if you really want to avoid any scars, you know. If you do that, your donor area won't be touched by a surgeon, okay? Now let's come to the FUE and FUT procedure. Both procedures will leave you with some scarring, depends on your body how sensitive it is, okay? Let's talk about FUE first. This is a patient 2 days after FUE procedure. You can see those holes poked here, you know. This means like they poked like one hole after another, and they took out grafts and planted them onto the bald spot. What can you be doing if you have done FUE and now we want to get rid of those scars as soon as possible naturally? Whether if you did FUT or FUE, now you have two options. One is natural and one is like not so natural. First one are natural oils, essential oils, and the second one is micropigmentation. So in both cases, if you have scar after FUT or after FUE like this one, let's talk about natural stuff. There are so many great oils you can be using, which I was using, and you can check my donor area on my previous videos after 1 month, 2 months, where I already cut it short on 1 millimeter, and people couldn't really see any scars anymore. Why? Because I've been using some great oils. I was checking it way before I get hair transplant, so I know where I'm going and what I will need to kind of get rid of my scars as soon as possible. So I was doing a research on some oils, and what I can tell you right now that worked for me are essential oils like frankincense and tea tree oil. You know, those two oils really helped me. I mixed them up with coconut oil, jojoba oil, or oils like olive oil, and other rich vitamin E oil like emu oil, that's Australian oil. And I actually found a website, it's an Australian one, they're selling jojoba oil. I bought my own jojoba oil from Amazon. Jojoba oil, for example, can cure some excessive redness on your like rashes or pimples, you know, or redness on your face or on your other body parts. It's not just about your face. You can see some people got burned, and you can see how it helped to cure the redness. So if you went on FUT, you won't really see such great results after using jojoba oil, because it's not just redness, but this is quite a harsh scar. Here I would really suggest micropigmentation. But if you are seeing yourself having scars after FUE, those holes are more visible or the redness is still there, just mix up some olive oil and coconut oil and put them like 3 drops of frankincense oil and 3-4 drops of tea tree oil, you know, some essential oils, and start massaging it onto your donor area. I would suggest, if you want to see real results fast, I would do it 2 or 3 times a day, you know, because, you know, the natural stuff, it's not as strong as, you know, some, you know, as always, the natural stuff works, but you have to do it more frequently and more often. So I would suggest to do it 2 to 3 times every single day if you want this redness to disappear or the holes to kind of disappear as well. I'm gonna put the link in the description. This is a link to a video of Dr. Axe. That's my favorite kind of like YouTube doctor, like, you know, who talks a lot about essential oils and homeopathy and stuff like that I'm following. And this guy has a great video on which oils can heal your scars, so you may want to check it out as well. And now let's talk about micropigmentation, because micropigmentation is another way how to get rid of scars, like pretty much forever, and very effective, you know, and many people do it. So the scars are not a big of a deal. Even this scar on the left here, you may say like, oh, it's such a huge scar and people will notice. Yeah, sure, they will notice, but you know, after you get micropigmentation done, like you can see here on the right, this is after micropigmentation. It doesn't even, you know, it doesn't even look like a scar anymore. I mean, I wouldn't really rely on natural stuff here. I would do micropigmentation and combine it with natural oils. It can happen that the pigment, you know, the color of this micropigmentation will fade away after a couple of years. So you will need some maintaining, you know, you will need to maintain this micropigmentation with, like, you know, one procedure every 5 to 10 years. Depends on how high quality micropigmentation it was, you know. Usually those people don't just get one micropigmentation and that's it for the rest of their lives. No, if you're living somewhere where the sun is shining, you know, and your scalp is cut very short, your hair is cut very short, the sun will kind of make this scalp micropigmentation to fade away the color, you know, the shade, you know. But if you are a guy who does scalp micropigmentation and then he kind of lets his hair grow longer, and we have definitely examples of this as well, let's say. But if you're a guy who does scalp micropigmentation and then lets his hair grow longer, like this gentleman, you can see that the sun won't really make the color fade away so fast, you know. But if you keep the hair short where the scalp micropigmentation was done, then it might happen that the color of this micropigmentation will fade away much sooner, as if you would leave your hair just longer on the sides and on the back, so the sun cannot really go through that, okay? So like cannot really reach the skin underneath your hairs, that's what I meant. So this is something that you need to think of before hair transplant. And I mean, I don't know what kind of harsh pictures you have seen after, or scars after hair transplant, but trust me, it's not really that harsh. And even the most harshest like scars can be cured instantly with a good scalp micropigmentation. So again guys, to kind of conclude this video, I would really like you to do your own research first. Do you want to do FUE or FUT or the hair fiber hair transplant? If you don't want to have any scars, then hair fiber or like this biofiber or artificial hair transplant would be suitable. But I wouldn't really advise you, that it's not so practical. You cannot have a haircut. You only have a hair of the same length for the rest of your life. So this, I wouldn't do it. But anyways, you have this FUE or FUT. They both leave scars, they both leave some redness, and you have usually two options. You can use some oils, essential oils like coconut oil, emu oil, olive oil, and some nice vitamin E rich oils, and then, as I said, tea tree oil, jojoba oil, and I'm gonna put the names of the oils in the description. And all those oils, by the way, the video from Dr. X as well, check it out. And the second big option is scalp micropigmentation. The best way is to combine both of those. If your scar is really harsh, in my case I needed only the oils to kind of cure and heal my scars. But if the scar is too harsh, like maybe it's the case with FUT, I would consider, and not just consider, I would really seriously consider scalp micropigmentation, as this is really probably the most effective and the best solution, where people won't notice almost any scars. And you can see it here, this gentleman Okay guys, that would be it. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know how the scars, how serious of a scar you got after FUE or FUT, and how did you cope with that, how you made it to disappear fast, or what was your strategy. Maybe you have a better strategy than me, I don't know, but this is just what worked for me, and that's what I'm sharing. So let me know how you liked it. That was Matt Dominance, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you in the next video, guys.